Hello and welcome to the We Only Sing When We're Winning podcast, 8th edition. We have our usual three people alongside our host today. So first of all, because it's his birthday tomorrow, Martin Gray.
Hi guys.
How old are you going to be?
22.
22.
Then,
6 years ago.
then multiply that a few times.
Multiply it, wow. Josh Hockley still repping another sport there?
Yeah, I got my Somerset t-shirt on. It's quite handy actually for when I was going to go on the treadmill today, so it's a good shirt to wear for that.
And I was going to go on a marathon run, but I didn't either. Charlie Marriott down there in the corner, making sure that our beard game is still on point.
Hey, I'm the second oldest here, and this sort of helps with the illusion of that. Like, I'm trying to catch up.
Don't worry,
This is also me getting a head start on Movember.
How can we follow that? Anyway, let's jump straight into this. I thought we'd start with a little bit of something a little bit more fun. As we are all aware, football is coming back to our screens, so I thought let's have a little bit of a game, if you like, a little teaser. What was your funniest moment that you can remember seeing on a football field?
Live or just in general?
It can be anything. Live is better, obviously, for the atmosphere, but if you've seen it on TV, that's still
I've got one
would be a
immediately.
valid one. Go for it.
And Martin will know this because he was there as well. November 2017, Martin and I went to Germany for a weekend. Borussia Mönchengladbach against Mainz. And you'll probably remember the clip because it briefly went viral of the goalkeeper receiving the ball, went to pass it out. The ball had slid past him and he went to kick the penalty spot. Didn't realise the ball had missed him. And suddenly he had to scramble back for it because Gladbach nearly scored. We both sat there going, what in the hell just happened there? Because we were at the other end of the ground. I don't know what the German thought, what the hell just happened, but I suspect we probably learned it in those 5 seconds.
I thought you were going to go for something completely different. I thought you were going to go for the horse name the whole time.
Yeah.
On the big screen, whenever there's a goal, there's just this neigh that you hear, and it's some kind of like horse, because obviously Gladbach's nickname is the horses. And we just had this neigh from somewhere. I was like, what's going on here?
It wasn't even for just goals that were in that game. This was for the entire Bundesliga, and of course Bayern Munich play, so there's always an average of 4 goals a game. This thing was going off every 30 seconds, every 40 seconds, something like that.
That's amazing. So I remember one. I was at a non-league football match, as it happens, between Chester and Northwich Victoria, which, if anyone knows the local rivalry, is a very intense derby here. It's Boxing Day. We decided to go into the stands. We actually left after half-time because it was far too violent for us. But in about the 10th minute of the match, the ball was played up high in the air, and you think, right, this is an easy ball. The goalkeeper's just got to stand on his line and catch it. The Northwich Victoria goalkeeper, for some reason, decided to run out of his area. And you're thinking, don't catch it. But he's a mile away from his area, and he jumps up and catches the ball. 10th minute of the game. He's sent off. Chester score the resulting 3 kick. And then at half-time, they subbed off their sub-goalkeeper who they'd brought on and put a midfielder in net for the rest of the game.
Wow.
They didn't concede again, though. They drew 1-1, so it clearly works. But
That's a vote of confidence, isn't it?
It is, yeah, definitely, for sure.
Funnily enough, most of mine relate to things that supporters have said. And I've been thinking about what's my number one. And I'll go for the one that, Gareth, you referred to it in your article this week, so it seems a good time to bring it up. And it was a Nottingham Forest match. Lewis McGugan comes on as a second-half substitute. And the bloke next to me had a very, very anti-Lewis McGugan agenda. Like, literally every time he got the ball, this bloke would shout out abuse at Lewis McGugan. That's garbage, McGugan! Get in the game, McGugan! Get off, McGugan! And this continued right up until the point when McGugan bends a 30-yard stunner into the top corner. The place erupts. This guy just sits there looking very sullen. And eventually he went, well, I guess that's all right, McGugan.
Turns around and said, I could have done that.
I mean, there is...
Sorry, Gareth.
No, I was just going to say there is a more like fascinating point here that we all have these players that the fans seem to love to hate, even if they're on our side. I always remember that there was more than one for Everton. Tom Davis seems to be the new one, but once upon a time it was Stephen Naismith, and there was this game when Ross Barkley played this awful pass to Stephen Naismith. It was absolutely terrible, but at the time no one could fault Barkley, but everyone was criticising Naismith, so all around everyone was like, oh, how come he didn't control that? What are you doing, Naismith? Get out of the side. When actually the reality was it was a terrible pass and you should be slating Barkley for it. But fans, once they've got an image of a player in their head, nothing's going to change their mind.
I think in some cases it's entirely justified, though. West Brom a few seasons ago had a right back called Alan Neon, who is the first player I've seen, certainly in Albion colours recently. When it was announced on Twitter that he'd left the club, the universal response was good. It's, of course, famously known for when Albion lost to Southampton in the season they were relegated, aiding to concede a goal by running into Craig Dawson as the Southampton players were attacking. So 2 Albion defenders get taken out of the game, and it's a perfect opportunity for Southampton to score.
So, talking about our clubs, I think Exeter have had some pretty good news this week. Josh, do you want to share?
Yeah, so this is to do with the playoffs. League 2 as well as League 1 have voted to end the season. So there's playoff matches starting next week. Exeter's playoff semi-final is going to be against Colchester.
Whereabouts is it going to be held? Yeah.
So it's the same as it would have been before. So next Thursday is the first leg. That's up at Colchester. Then the following Monday, the second leg is going to be at St James's Park. So it's held in the original venues, but fans won't be there.
Where will you be watching?
I'm hoping that they're going to show the games on Sky. So hopefully from there.
Hang on, Josh. You're a season ticket holder, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
As far as I know, this was certainly announced for the Championship. I assume it's for the others as well. Through that iFollow online streaming feature, I think some season ticket holders were getting sort of access to that without having to pay any extra for it. So look into that, because you may have access to that as a season ticket holder.
Well, thanks very much, mate. I certainly will do, and I'll find a way of watching it anyway. I think the League One playoffs look like they're going to be interesting, because that's been a bit more controversial. Peterborough not happy about it. It means clubs like Sunderland and Ipswich are going to have another year at that level. But for me, the flip side of it is, look at the clubs that have made the cut. The Oxfords, the Wickhams, the Fleetwoods. Like, one of those has a chance of being in the Championship next year.
Can I declare an interest of being from Coventry and being a sort of a secret Coventry City fan that they're playing in the Championship for the first time since 2012? And there is a very realistic possibility next season of them playing either West Brom or Aston Villa or both. Which could be quite awkward in my household.
So secretive, he's just announced it on a podcast.
So secretive,
put on YouTube.
Yeah, here's the tattoo. No,
I'm in Charlie. I can go to St Andrews twice next year, if we're allowed to go to football matches next year.
Yeah.
Absolute graveyard that is St Andrews.
I was going to say,
it's a great ground. St Andrews is the home of our most famous moment in watching Forest Day, Martin.
Yeah.
Go on then, Josh. Right, let's put your money where your mouth is. You like to talk a big game. So who's getting promoted via the playoffs?
League 2
and in League 1.
Okay. I can't back my own team. League 2. I actually think that the two sides that were the finishing 6th and 7th are actually the two better teams. I look at Northampton and I see so much lower league experience. I think Northampton might do it, and I'm going to say they're going to be Exeter in the final. League 1, I'm going to say Portsmouth, but I do really hope it's Wickham or Oxford.
Very nice, very nice. You heard it here first, guys. So while we're on the subject, Martin, do you want just a quick recap of the Bundesliga? Have you been watching it?
Yeah, I've been watching it. Not as much this weekend. There wasn't that took my fancy. I watched 2 games. Obviously, Gladbach's game, which we won't talk about. We'll skip past that pretty quickly. And then I watched Bayer Leverkusen against Munich, and Munich were absolutely irresistible. they were on fire. The first 15 minutes you looked at it, and Leverkusen started really well, went 1-0 up, but then from then on it was Bayern Munich all the way.
They look good. Yeah. There you go. All right. So shall we move on to our squad builder challenge?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so if you remember, or if you didn't watch it, or whatever, I set the guys a challenge that we're going to play a degrees of separation game today. So I gave them all a starting point for a goalkeeper and a finishing point for a striker, and said, find connections from goalkeeper to striker, 11 players. I initially said that we're only allowed 2 is a teammate of. Martin then overruled me in the group and decided that we should have none is a teammate of. So we'll see how well the guys have stuck to that.
Okay.
We're gonna. Oh, Charlie might have failed already, but
that wasn't like. I suppose it's technically a connection, but it's not. It's not like literally it is a teammate of. There is a bit more of a reason to it than that.
Yeah, I think I might have
that's fine.
that as
That's
well.
fine.
Okay.
I have a couple of people who are teammates, but the reason I'm giving is more interesting than that. So we'll start with Josh. Josh was given the clues: a goalkeeper who has won the Premier League Golden Glove, and a striker who has scored at any of the last 3 World Cups.
Okay, so my goalkeeper is Alisson, a recent winner of the Golden Glove. I should say this team, it's a slightly odd formation. It's something of a 5-3-1-1. So I just thought it's best to say that. Alisson in goal. He is, of course, a Seleção international. He's played for the Brazil men national team, as has my right back, Cafu. Cafu is the most capped men's player for the Brazil side. And Sergio Ramos has also won the most caps for his country. So it goes Cafu to Ramos. Ramos came through the Sevilla Cantera, their youth system, but he's best known for a spell at another club. So too is Carlos Marchena, who came up through Seville and then had most of his career at Valencia. At Valencia, Carlos Marchena was managed by both Ranieri and Benitez, which is also true of John Terry. So those are my 3 centre-backs. Terry, of course, is famous for having had a loan spell at the mighty Nottingham Forest.
Very famous.
Very famous, as of course is Paul Konchesky. Both are known for little else.
I love how this is like a World Beaters 11. We've got Alisson, Cafu, 2 really good centres, and then Paul Konchesky.
Yeah, I mean, I was just determined to get a Forest connection in there, so that's why.
Please tell me that the connection then is going to be that they've played at Billericay Town and you've got Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant in that team.
I did think about O'Hara, because, but I haven't gone for him. But the connection is that Konchesky finished his career in the English non-league, as did another legend of the game, Edgar Davids.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Davids, of course, was player manager at Barnet, and one of the interesting things about Edgar Davids is that he was a Dutch footballer, but he was born in Suriname, as was another fantastic Dutch midfielder, Clarence Seedorf.
Oh, nice.
Seedorf is one of the things he's known for, is doing the move across Milan from Inter to AC. And there's quite a lot of fantastic players that have done that, including Andrea Pirlo. So, and also a midfield of Davids, Seedorf and Pirlo. That's a good midfield.
This is good. This is good.
I think my last 2 connections are actually the best, because Pirlo, off the top of my head, I think it's 2004, won a bronze medal at the Olympics. At the subsequent Olympics, Brazil won bronze, and so Ronaldinho also has a bronze Olympic medal.
Really nice.
So yeah, that was one I needed to research. I've got to be honest. So I've got Ronaldinho behind my main striker. I had to get a connection between Ronaldinho and a striker at the last 3 World Cups. I've gone for Diego Costa because both Ronaldinho and Diego Costa have been threatened with prison time in the last few weeks.
That is a fan.
I have a point of contention.
Yeah, fair play.
Point of contention.
All right.
What's that?
Well, our goalkeepers and striker are not supposed to have the same letter.
No. Where did you get that from?
Well, I thought you said we started with a letter, and both of the clues that you gave us, that had to be...
Oh wow, no, that was just a letter to determine which clue was which.
Okay,
But if you've done that, that's incredible.
Yeah, Martin, Martin gets points for that.
Yeah, like fair play. We're not having a Twitter poll this week. Martin's won.
Yeah. The fact that he's actually done it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. I like that even more, but no, it wasn't.
Man, okay.
Yeah, sorry for confusion there.
I would change my striker, but I'm going to keep it because, why not?
So anyway, we've got a fantastic team with players like Cafu, Alisson, and Paul Konchesky.
Really do.
I love that, Josh. That's a really, really solid start to the game there. Let's see how it matches up, though. Martin, it's time for you. Your clues were, I think, quite open for interpretation in terms of there's a lot of players here. So I gave him a goalkeeper who has represented England at any point, and a striker who has scored against England since 2000.
Okay, so my goalkeeper, I have gone for slightly less impressive than Josh's keeper, Jack Butland. I had a B. I couldn't think of any other Bs, to be honest.
Gordon Banks.
One of
the greatest England goalkeepers of all time.
And also, Martin, you're old enough that you can remember him.
Oh. 22 multiplied a few times, people.
So Jack Butland, he played in a Euro 2016 qualifying game for the first time against Lithuania, so that's why I went for him. My link to my right back, I'm playing a 4-3-3 by the way, my link to the right back is 9 caps for England so far in their career, and this is mind-blowing. Jack Butland has the same number of caps as Trent Alexander-Arnold. So Alexander-Arnold is my right back. Link to my first centre-back is that this person is also a 2019-20 Ballon d'Or nominee. And that player is Matthijs de Ligt.
Right.
The link to my other centre-back is that in the UEFA Champions League 2018-19 Team of the Year, this was the other centre-back alongside de Ligt. And that is Virgil van Dijk. Left back, this is a bit of a tenuous link. Most expensive player in their position when they were bought. So Van Dijk was 75 million. Clearly he's been usurped by Maguire now at 80 million. The most expensive left back in the world at the minute. Lucas Hernandez.
Okay.
Nice.
And now he doesn't get in the team ahead of Alphonso Davies.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. So that's my back four. The link from Hernandez to my first centre midfielder is that they were born on Valentine's Day. What link that is? Unreal. And that player is Christian Eriksen. I had no idea that he was born on Valentine's Day.
How did you find that link?
Wikipedia.
Right, fair enough.
From Christian Eriksen, we go to another centre midfielder. And I actually have one who is the same as Josh's here. So played for both Tottenham and Inter Milan at some point in their careers. Edgar Davids.
Ah, yes. Very nice.
Next link, Josh went down a different route to me here. I did kind of the same thing, but former players who went on to become club managers. It has to be the one and only Zinedine Zidane.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you have the 3 strikers. So from Zidane, I've got born in Marseille, France. My first striker, Eric Cantona.
Nice.
Solid.
Link 2, iconic number 7s for their most famous clubs. So Man United for Cantona. Do you know where I'm going with this? PSG? Iconic number 7? Mbappe.
Fair enough.
No, yeah, okay.
And then my link. This is where I had to get some weird link because I thought my striker had to start with Mbappe. And this is actually one of my favourite links, to be fair. Winner of the Golden Boy Award. So Mbappe won it in 2017. Anyone who know who won it in 2010?
So what, the Golden Boy, so is that the one in France?
No, it's just the world one, basically.
Oh, right.
Balotelli?
Mario Balotelli.
Nice.
Yes. There we go.
I mean, that's not a bad team either, so it's not like you've
You haven't
had
lost
to
anything.
you've had to
I
pull
could have
someone
had a
from the
much better golden boy than Mario Balotelli.
He probably could.
Who else?
But they had to have scored against
Balotelli
England anyway.
Could I just point out, Balotelli's been in the news this week because it looks like Brescia are going to be letting him go. So his career hasn't panned out exactly as he would have wanted.
I thought he'd already left Brescia, but maybe I dreamt.
I think he's in the process of leaving.
Charlie regularly has dreams about Mario Balotelli.
I mean,
Why always him?
His shirt off at Euro 2012.
yeah,
Oof.
it's that and the fact that I just have the urge to let fireworks off in my bathroom on at least once a week.
What Daisy's told us anyway. Right, moving on to Charlie.
Okay.
Speaking of him,
Yeah.
Charlie's clues were a goalkeeper who has scored a goal in a professional match and a striker who was a club record signing at the time.
Who's my goalkeeper, Gareth?
Chilavert.
It is Jose Luis Chilavert. Played in goal for Paraguay. Also took free kicks and penalties. I'm safe on that one. He is also, and this is where the first link comes in, he was also the goalkeeper who conceded the first ever golden goal at a World Cup match.
Oh,
It was the second round, France 98, and it was France against Paraguay.
surprisingly.
And the goal scorer was Laurent Blanc.
Ah, nice.
Now,
Nice.
I am playing a very weird formation, which I can best describe as a 3-3-2-2. So I've got 3 centre-backs, 3 centre midfielders, 2 attacking wingers and 2 up front. So yes, gaping holes at wing-back, but we'll gloss over that, it's fine.
Okay.
Right, this is also the most tenuous link I've got. This is the one where I think that Gareth is just going to have his head in his hands and may question. So back at the very start of the 2000s, it wasn't just FIFA that was a video game. There was also one called the FA Premier League Stars. Has anyone ever heard of it?
No.
No. Okay. So basically the premise was, and it only focused on the Premier League. But as you scored goals, you won games and stuff, you got these stars where you could kind of power up your players, power up your team, this kind of business. It was a bit more sort of arcadey. I will always remember Laurent Blanc. This is a very personal link because I was playing that game and somehow I managed to sign Laurent Blanc for my team for a transfer fee of 30 quid. And I've got no idea how it ever worked, but it did. So yeah, that's my link to the next player. So Premier League Stars was one game and FIFA was the other game. And this was when FIFA 2000 came out. Does anybody know who the cover star of FIFA 2000 was?
No.
It was Sol Campbell. So I've got Laurent Blanc and Sol Campbell as 2 of my 3 centre-backs.
Because of video games.
Yes, because of video games.
Fair
And
enough.
then my next one. So Sol Campbell was part of the Arsenal Invincibles team. So the game that they lost was against Man United. So the man of the match of that game was Rio Ferdinand.
Okay.
So he's going to be my 3rd centre-back. So I've got Laurent Blanc, Sol Campbell and Rio Ferdinand as my 3 centre-backs. Going up into centre midfield, so in the 06-07 season, Ferdinand was in the Premier League Team of the Year. So was Cesc Fabregas. So Fabregas is going to be one of my centre midfielders. I don't know, do we think that Fabregas was more, sort of best remembered for his time at Arsenal or Barca?
From an English point of view, Arsenal probably.
I've gone with Arsenal.
I'd say
and
Arsenal, yeah.
The reason that Fabregas kind of got into the team in the first place was because of an injury to a well-established Arsenal midfielder who was Patrick Vieira. So Vieira's in my team as well. And then on this is kind of borrowing on that theme of replacement again. But after Zidane retired from international football after the World Cup in 2006, Vieira became the France national team captain. So I've got that idea of replacement going on. So Zidane becomes my 3rd midfielder. So midfield 3, Fabregas, Vieira, Zidane.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Zidane, in my mind, has scored one of the greatest goals ever when he was at Real Madrid. That one where he's got his foot up about here.
That was the one against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League final.
Exactly, it was. So I've gone on the theme of great Real Madrid goals, and I'm thinking Gareth Bale from the Champions League final against Liverpool, where I'm still not sure how that was even physically possible, whether Karius was concussed or not. So yeah, Real Madrid goals. I've got Gareth Bale on. I put him on the right wing just because it makes my life a bit easier here. The link then is to Wales, and Ryan Giggs is on the left side of midfield there. Martin, as a Man United fan, will probably agree with me on this next link that Giggs is probably one of the best players to have never played at a World Cup. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Another one of those, get your time machines out, because one of my front two is George Best, who, again, arguably never played at a World Cup but really should have done.
Thought you were going to bring out Alexander Kleb then.
That would have been fantastic, wouldn't it? No. So, yeah, George Best is one of my front two, and then Man United becomes the final link for my club record at the time striker signing. Signed for just under £31 million in September of 2008. It was...
Tevez.
No.
Berbatov?
Berbatov, Dimitar Berbatov. So Best and Berbatov is my front two. I
Nice.
don't think you could get a more laid-back luxury front two if you tried.
Certainly would be out
with
after the
Zidane and Fabregas in your midfield as well. There is so much technical ability.
It's
Like
not
I
a
say,
bad defence either, really.
It suffers from not having wing backs, I'll give you that, but
Yeah. Paul Conchesti is going to run riot.
I can't wait to see it.
So, this is right. Okay, this is very interesting. My two clues were a goalkeeper who has played in 3 or more countries, and a striker who has scored 10 goals in 3 consecutive seasons. I actually have a nice link between my goalkeeper and a striker here, not just their first letter of their name, but anyway. In doing some research, I found out that one of the most famous goalkeepers of all time has actually played in 3 countries. And so Gordon Banks is between my sticks.
Interesting. Elaborate.
He had a loan spell at a club called Hellenic, which might sound like they're from Greece, but are actually South African. And at the end of his career, he moved to play in not the MLS, but the American Professional Football League as a superstar player.
I have definitely learned something there.
Yeah.
There you go. So did I. So Gordon Banks, when he was still alive, was named as one of Pele's 125 best footballers alive in 2004. I picked my right back from that because that gave me 124 other players to link to Gordon Banks, which was
124 right backs to choose from.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wish. Funnily enough, I actually ended up on the same right back that Josh had, the legendary Cafu. But then we do differ because Cafu lifted the World Cup in 2002, which was the first World Cup of the 21st century. The only other World Cup in the noughties decade was in 2006, won by
Italy.
And lifted by
Fabio Cannavaro.
So Fabio Cannavaro is my first centre-back. This was all going great. Then we hit a bit of a wall. Cannavaro was named in the FIFA World 11 in 2006 and 2007. In both of those years, he had the same centre-back partner, which I thought was an interesting one. It was John Terry. So again, another one Josh had, yeah. Apparently John Terry... John Terry was named 6 years in a row. I've got it up so I remembered the years. 6 years in a row, John Terry was named in that.
Whose
11.
partner was he sleeping with to get in that team 6 years in a row?
Interestingly enough, my left back is Wayne Bridge. Need I say more?
Very good, very good.
I was desperate for John Terry in this team. Now, Wayne Bridge was on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. He lasted 21 days. Funnily enough, that was exactly the same amount of days that Kieran Dyer had done the year before. Tenuous link, maybe.
Why did you not get Redknapp in?
Well, you'll see where this one's going.
I think I've got a suspicion where this is going, but carry on.
What's Kieran Dyer famous for? Come on, guys.
Punching Lee Bowyer.
Punching his teammate in the face.
This is a 4-4-2 formation. Lee Bowyer was the obvious answer. Do you know who broke up that fight or who tried to break up that fight? I'll give you a clue. It wasn't a Newcastle player. There is a very famous image of Bowyer and Dyer going at each other, and there's an Aston Villa player who stood trying to break it up, even though this isn't concerning that.
Was it Lee Hendry?
It wasn't Lee Hendry.
Gareth Barry.
It is Gareth Barry. Gareth Barry, the ultimate peacemaker. He was there trying to break up a fight between two players who weren't even on his team. That is the ultimate Gareth Barry move, in my opinion. This killed my soul, but Gareth Barry made his international debut in the same match as another very famous English central midfielder.
Steven Gerrard.
It is Stevie G. Steven Gerrard is my central midfielder. Now, here we go. Right, Steven Gerrard's on the centre. I had to stick him on the left midfield, but I do quite like this one. Neymar, because Neymar and Steven Gerrard both made cameos in films as themselves, which was a pretty
played for LA Galaxy. I think you're not there yet.
Pretty tenuous link, I know, but especially when you read that Steven Gerrard's film was a film about a kid trying to get to the 2005 Champions League final, and Neymar's was XXX Return of Xander Cage. But there we go, it's a link. We'll count it. So, now, interestingly, Neymar is the only Brazilian to have 100 caps and score 50 goals or more. The only Brazilian in the history to do that. There's only one Englishman who's done exactly the same feat, which is Wayne Rooney. So, Wayne Rooney is my first striker. And, well, as for my second striker, it's ... Jamie Vardy. Need I say more?
Yeah, you've got to have those two as a partnership.
So I managed to get a list of connections and have probably two of the biggest scandals in English football in there as well over the last few years. So I was quite proud of that.
Isn't?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like your team has the best connections.
It's the worst team by far.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try and deny that. It's the worst team. I've got Kieran Dyer and Wayne Bridge in it. It's worse than Paul Konchesky. But still, yeah, we'll do a Twitter poll as normal. What do we think then? Who should go against each other?
Could just do all four of us, because that's
All
what we
four
had
of
to
us?
do. We had to do this week because we all voted for ourselves.
Who won? I forgot to check.
Sorry.
Oh, I saw there was a fifth vote.
We had 5 votes.
I have no idea who the fifth vote was, but it was for me, and I will take the victory, as deserved as it isn't.
Yeah, that is a farce, wasn't it? We'll put them all up together then, and you can vote for your favourite Connection 11. I might not vote for myself here because you guys have some really good sides. So, is it time for the quiz, or is there anything else anyone wants to put in first, or is there any points of interest?
No,
articles?
let's
coming
move
up?
on,
No?
because my mind was spinning over with trivia.
Okay. Quiz time. My order is messed up. So,
Okay, Gareth, before you do the quiz, shall I give you your squad builder for next week?
yeah, go for it. Nice time for it.
Okay, so I thought about this. Hopefully this will be an interesting one for you. I want a best 11 of players that you've seen live. So
Okay.
I thought that might be a bit of fun, but I've also thought I'd make it a little bit of a challenge because, I mean, I've seen, say, the Man United treble-winning team, so I don't just want my team to be all of those players. So the rule I'm putting in place is, Gareth, like your favourite footballer is Nicholas Alexanderson, I believe.
Yeah,
So
I'd say so.
So if you want to pick Alexanderson, fine, but you can't include anyone who you've seen play on a pitch with Nicholas Alexanderson.
Okay,
Fine.
fair enough.
So
That'll take a bit of research, but yeah.
So that'll make a challenge for you. I also want to try and get a bit of a link going. You have to include a player from the first football match you ever went to and the most recent match you've been to.
Do you know, the most recent match that I've been to was Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa in January 2017, 2018 maybe. So that's going to be tough to find one from that game.
I'm sure there'll be some very good players in there. Charlie.
Question. My first game was a Tamworth game. Does that? How am I going to pick a player from the 2001 or 2002 stuff?
If you want, Charlie, I'll let you pick one from your first Football League game.
Yeah.
However, I do think you'll do better on this challenge than most of us, given that you have been to so many different grounds, and so the rule about not being able to pick players if you've seen them with other players, that's not going to apply to you.
There is that, and also that my most recent game did include Vissel Kobe And if you know who plays in the central midfield for Vissel
I
Kobe.
do, yes. And also you've seen Lionel Messi play, I believe, and Ronaldo. So your team is
Yes,
going to
but-
be.
Yes, but Messi, yeah, right, point of contention before we move on then, because Messi and Iniesta both played in that Barcelona team on the same night as well. So can I have those as two separate instances, or
Ooh.
Yes.
that's a vote? That's a vote.
Yeah,
There,
that's
so,
Martin. Gareth, are you happy to allow that?
I'm happy to allow it.
yeah, cool.
Okay.
Right, quiz time. So I think this is quite exciting, but then I'm not involved. I'm just the master. I am sending these three guys head to head over the next 3 weeks. So I've changed it slightly. I've written out 15 questions, and today it'll be Josh versus Martin in these 15 questions. There's no writing down today, Josh. This is purely down to who says it first. So I asked you both of you to come up with a buzzer last week. Have you come up with a buzzer? And let's hear it. Josh, what's your buzzer?
Buzz.
So inspirational.
Oh my god.
Martin, what's your buzzer?
Birthday.
Birthday.
Did you see him looking around the room to try and find something he could use as a buzzer title?
It's not the giant teddy bear. He couldn't say giant teddy.
I'm gonna go for beer.
But yeah.
Beer. Okay, so we've got buzz and beer, not at all similar. So the rules of this quiz are very simple. I'm going to ask a question. One of you is going to buzz in. You can't say the answer unless you've said buzz or beer. It's going to go to you. If you get it right, you get a point. We move on. If you get it wrong, it passes over to the next guy.
God, what if the answer is beer?
The answer, I'd be frantically typing to change a question right now. I can assure you. Although it is really funny given the first question, but we'll come on to that in a minute. Basically, these questions are a mix of things based around Nottingham Forest, Everton, West Brom, Exeter, and our articles and just general stuff about our lives. In this case, I'm not doing stuff about you or Martin. It's about me and Charlie. So, and then in the week we'll go on and we'll do more stuff like that. So in theory, it should be a topic that we're quite good at, but it also could be a topic that looks quite embarrassing by the end of this. So we'll see how it goes. Are you guys ready?
Charlie, enjoy it while you can. You're up next week.
I've known you for nearly 20 years. If there's any questions about you, I should know the answer.
And just to give you a little heads up, I gave Charlie one of my questions today, and I asked him whether he wanted it to be easy or hard, and he said hard.
Oh,
So that, just so you guys remember that for future weeks, okay? You ready?
Yes.
It's quite an easy first one. You should both get it, in theory. Let's go. This is where we need a theme tune. The word yeast is an anagram of which current Nottingham Forest player?
Oh, God.
We are terrible at this. Yeast.
I'm going to edit these silences out when I come to do this.
Yes, please do. You can write it down if it helps you. If you've forgotten how to spell yeast.
I mean, no, but...
Yeast.
This is good. This
Are
is
you
good.
sure?
Yep. I looked this up.
Beer.
Yes, Martin.
It's my most detested player, Ryan Yates.
It is indeed. Martin gets a point. Well
That's
done,
why I
Martin.
forgot him because I hate him.
That was a great start. Okay, question number 2. Name the Nottingham Forest player who went to the 2018 World Cup.
Oh. 2018 World Cup. This is hard, Gareth. What is going on here?
I thought you two would be all right with these two. I changed this one because I thought the other one I had was too easy. I should have kept it in.
Oh, jeez.
If you want do you want a clue?
No.
No? Okay, that's fine.
I'm not standing here smugly. I've got no idea either.
Oh, that's fine.
Maybe we should have a clue, yeah.
He didn't play much for Forest. In fact, his only year for Forest was in 2018.
Okay, so this isn't a current player.
No,
Oh,
it's a
not.
player at the time of 2018. Sorry, I should have made that clearer. The only player who went to the World Cup as a Nottingham Forest player.
as a Nottingham Forest player. Wow. I'm out on this one.
Are you both stumped? Played for Fulham before?
Bia?
Yeah,
I think
go
I've
for
got
it.
Kasami?
Not Kasami. Good guess, Josh.
Good, we'll move on.
Okay, it was Ashkan Djaga.
Ah, Dejaga. He's so forgettable.
But did he actually ever play a game for
I
Forest?
don't know.
One match, apparently, according to Wikipedia, when doing research. Well, this is a good start. Okay, here we go. Martin, Charlie, and I went to the City Ground whilst Josh was in America to see the East Midlands Derby. Do we remember it well, guys?
We did.
Yes, we did indeed. Forest won 1-0 that day.
Bia.
Who scored?
Bia.
Martin was beer first.
Yeah.
It was Jack Hobbs.
It was Jack Hobbs. Martin is doing well here.
That was his
I
celebration.
hadn't finished reading the question.
What was that? Well, okay, all right. Well, would you have got Jack Hobbs?
Yes, I would.
Fair enough. Okay, this is a good one. Exeter and Nottingham Forest played each other for the first time on the 8th of October, 1949. What was the score that day?
Bia.
Yeah, Martin.
It was 0-0.
Josh?
2-1 to Nottingham Forest.
It was actually 5-0 to Nottingham Forest, but I will give Josh the point there because he actually got the result right. So we'll give Josh the point for that one. Number 5. Who has more FA Cup trophies? Is it Everton or West Brom?
Bia.
Martin?
Wait, if I get this wrong, Josh gets it right. Shit.
Yeah.
It is Everton.
Incorrect. Josh?
From
Incorrect. They both have 5.
Everton's
How
was
did
just
you
much more
guys not
recent.
see? How did you guys not see that one coming?
Oh, man.
It was question 5 as well. Question number 6. This is a personal one for me. How well do you two know me? My first ever match at Goodison Park was in 1998. Everton won 1-0. But who did we play? Clue, they wear stripes.
Bia.
Martin.
Southampton.
Is correct. Martin's got a
Nice
point.
lead.
I had to give you a clue for that one because otherwise it's
I
too
would
many.
never have got that.
You're not getting a clue for this one, though. In my article, A Childhood of Trying, A Childhood of Failure, which team was I playing for in the first 2 paragraphs?
Bia.
Martin.
Surely.
They've been brilliant. It's true.
It's not,
Hold
no.
on, hold on. It was because I read this. It's someone Rangers. I'm not going to get the first word.
It's not even some Rangers.
You were playing for a team called Rangers. I read it today.
I did, but not in the first 2 paragraphs.
Oh, God.
It was Timperley Tornadoes.
Wow.
Sorry. That was me. I'm sorry. Right, question 8. Closest answer wins unless you're both miles out. How many grounds has Charlie visited?
Buzz.
Josh?
Is it 124?
Okay, Martin?
I'm going to say it's more like 150.
Wow, Josh, you get the point. It's 122. That was remarkable.
To be fair, I've had the plans that would have taken me to about 150, but I just haven't been able to do them.
Do you want me to give them both a point, Charlie? No, I'm joking. I'm not going to do that.
Was that the hard-
Okay, that wasn't the hard one, really. There's some tough ones coming up. Okay, which of these 4 grounds has Charlie not seen a match at? Arden Garages Stadium, PTS Academy Stadium, the Simple Digital Arena, or Cherry Red Records Stadium?
Up to you, Josh. Oh,
Those
God.
options again.
This was the one that he went mean on for the record. Arden Garages Stadium,
Garden Garages.
PTS Academy,
Okay.
the Simple Digital Arena and Cherry Red Records Stadium.
I'll go for the garages.
You're incorrect, Josh. Martin.
I'm going to say it's the Cherry Red Records.
Charlie, which one is it?
It is the Simply Digital Arena, and I've not been to. Would you like me to break this one down?
Yes.
So, the Arden Garages Stadium is the home of Stratford Town,
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
which is reasonably close. The PTS Academy Stadium is otherwise known as Sixfields,
Oh, okay.
home ground of Northampton Town. The Cherry Red Records Stadium is otherwise known as Kings Meadow, which is the home of AFC Wimbledon and Chelsea Ladies. And the Simply Digital Arena is the home of St Mirren, and I've never seen a game in Scotland.
So if you knew your geography, you would have got that one. But there we go. We'll move on.
Oh, it doesn't, because two of the stadium names I knew, but not by those names.
Yeah.
I was harsh with those.
He
I could
was
have-
very
if I'd given you
harsh,
the name
yeah.
of what they were called when I'd been there. Then it might have been a bit different.
We're going to move on to the articles a bit now. So, no, before we do that, question number 10, before we do that, sorry. What town in Spain did Charlie travel to for his non-league match while you two were enjoying tapas on the beach?
I don't think I are.
Yeah, you two didn't care. You saw paella and vino. You were busy.
Do you want to take a stab at it? And if whoever gets it geographically closest will win this.
I'm trying to think of towns around Valencia now, desperately. Oh,
I
God.
wasn't on the train for very long, if that helps.
Which town did you say?
I said town, yeah. Remember to buzz if you get an answer, just for the record.
I'm going to Villa Villarreal.
Yeah.
It's not-
Okay. Josh, take a stab.
I don't have a guess.
Okay. Charlie, what do you want to do? No points or 1 point to Martin?
point. Clearly, I'm the closest. Come on.
I mean, he's closest by the virtue that he made a guess. However, he knows that the guess isn't right. We all know the guess isn't right. So I don't think
no
he should
points.
get no points for either of them. No.
And Charlie, where was the town? What was the town?
The town was Silla. S-I-L-L-A.
There you go.
I
You
did
guys
know
should have known that.
I remember that. I do actually know that. Oh
Should
my
have said
God.
it. Right, here we go. This is a blog special. Are you guys ready for this? Let's start with two that both of you should get. Who knocked Mönchengladbach out of the Europa League in Martin's Football Manager game?
Buzz,
Josh.
Tottenham.
It was Tottenham. Martin, you've lost your free pass.
I'm already in I'm in the Champions League next year, so I don't care about Europa League anymore.
Right, question number 12. Who is the player manager of Exeter City Women FC?
Buzz,
Josh.
Abby Britton.
It is Abby Britton. Josh has turned this round. He's now winning. 3 questions to go. Which ground did Charlie describe as his thirst? Martin.
Lamb.
It is the Lamb ground. Okay, this is my favourite question of the lot. Charlie starts my first ground, the Lamb ground, Tamworth, by describing a date as highly unimportant. What was that date?
Fear.
Martin.
Oh no, maybe it's not. Is it the first time you had a drink?
I need the date. I need actual figures.
Oh, actual date.
Actual dates.
Hold on. How old are you now, Charlie? 27. It was the 15th of July, 2010.
Josh?
Was it 22nd of February 2002?
Do you know what? I'm very tempted to give it to Josh for getting the year right there, but I'm not going to because it was the Saturday, the 9th of November, 2002. The date was the day he actually went to.
Oh my God.
So all rest of this, it's 4-4.
Out of 14 questions.
It is 4-4 after, yep. It's terrible, isn't it? What is the title of Charlie's Playing Away article?
Fear.
God.
Martin was there first.
My desire is always to be here.
Yeah, I'll accept that, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always to be there technically, but anyway. So we have a winner. Martin won 5-4. So what he gets is what I'm calling a head-to-head point. Martin has got 1-0 up on you two. Next week is going to be Charlie against Josh, and then the final week be Charlie against Martin. Josh, all is not lost. If you beat Charlie and then Charlie beats Martin, you'll all be level on 1 point each. So it'll come back to how many mini points you've won during the round. So you've got 4, which is not a solid start, but it might be enough. It might be enough.
I think it will be enough. I'm not going to lie.
I've got to keep this level of quizzing up. Apparently you guys struggled with some questions I thought were givens.
I can't believe I didn't get Tottenham. What is wrong with me? Seriously.
I thought at that point Josh was on fire. He was coming back and then it all fell apart again. So there we go. 1-0 to Martin. Charlie, Josh, get you two ready for next week.
So what have we got to? So what kind of topic is it going to be? The same as in?
It's going to be pretty similar. Yeah. I'm probably not going to have so many Nottingham Forest ones in there. That was because it was a special between these two. But what do we like? Do we like the personal questions? Or the blog questions?
So how much we know about each other.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'll throw any information from me, Gareth. You know where to come.
I am going to be talking to you during the week. Don't you worry. I might ask you to, provide some interesting facts about yourself, stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. So does that about wrap it up then?
I think so.
So we got our squad builder challenge for next week. Josh, you're hosting again. Anything else you're going to talk about?
Yo. Yes, there was. I want to talk a bit about La Liga next week. La Liga is coming back. So I want us to do a bit of a group article that we can talk about a bit. Can we each write around 500 words, no more than that, on our favourite La Liga team? And we can get it up as a group blog for the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So I've already written a bit about Bilbao. Martin, you're going to be Valencia.
Yep.
Charlie, you're Celta Vigo, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going Atletico Madrid?
Gareth? I will go Atletico Madrid, yeah.
So we've all got our 4 teams. You can get those to me, preferably by the weekend, but just, I guess, whenever you can, and we'll do that.
Cool. Sounds good.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Right. Thank you all for watching, if indeed you are still with us. That was a bit of fun, and we will see you all shortly. Take care.
Bye.